What's up everyone, Kaiji no Kami here, and this is going to be my Q&A number 5. I've got 3 pages worth of questions and answers. I'm going to try to read these questions through and answer them as quick as I can because I also need to film my best and worst lists of 2018. I want to get those done so I can try to get those out either tomorrow or Tuesday. So let's get right to the questions. Thank you so much to all of you that have answered questions, that have sent me questions, not answered them. Let's just get right to it. First, we have Shay Smithers. 1. Do you plan on reviewing Cloverfield and/or Pacific Rim sometime next year? No. Or most likely not. I just don't have time for them right now, and I'm in no rush to get to them. They'll be around for a while. Mostly right now, my goal is to finish the remaining Toho movies I have, which are Latitude Zero and Dogura, along with getting some more Sentai done. I got to get some more Sailor Moon watched and reviewed, and I have Gatchaman that is sitting over there, the original anime series, not the live-action movie. I don't think I ever want to sit through the live-action movie again if I can help it. 2. In a previous Q&A, I asked what your favorite storylines are from comics and manga. For this one, I thought it'd be cool to ask, what are your favorite heroes and villains from both DC and Marvel? Heroes: Flash, Batman, Jonah Hex, Spectre, Superman, Raven. Who am I missing? Aquaman's been kind of cool in recent years. Those would be like the main ones I can... Oh, Swamp Thing is pretty awesome for DC. Marvel heroes: Spider-Man, Phoenix, Rogue. Who else am I thinking? Shatterstar I really like. Archangel, Storm is one of my favorites. Silver Surfer, Morbius. The nice thing is I kind of have a cheat sheet here with some figures that I can look at. I was a fan of the Sleepwalker comics from the 90s, so I would like to see Sleepwalker brought back. Daredevil. So those are just some of my favorite heroes. Oh, I do like Spider-Man 2099. Villains. We've got Darkseid for DC, Thanos for Marvel, Galactus for Marvel, although he's not technically a villain. Magneto, Sabretooth, Dark Phoenix. Dormammu, Enchantress, Doctor Doom, Hobgoblin, Green Goblin. Wow. For DC side, besides Darkseid, it's Quentin Turnbull and El Papagayo from Jonah Hex. Who else are some of my favorites that I cannot think of? Mr. Freeze, Joker, Ra's al Ghul, Clayface, Black Manta's pretty cool. Swamp Thing's enemy, the Floronic Man and Anton Arcane. I also think Sinestro's pretty awesome. Star Sapphire. Who else did I like? Etrigan. Well, Etrigan is kind of hero, kind of villain. Depends on the comic, I guess, really. But Etrigan I like also as a hero, villain, whatever. You know what I'm saying. I'm trying to think of other non-Batman ones. Because Batman has a lot of great ones, but I'm also sick of Batman babysitting. Talia, which is Batman. Ugh. Well, Captain Cold. Gorilla Grodd. Gorilla Grodd's one of my favorites. Deathstroke the Terminator. I'm not a big fan of Lex Luthor. I don't know. I mean, I like Lex Luthor, especially with his portrayal in the Superman the Animated Series and the Justice League and all that. But I've never been a big Lex Luthor fan outside of those and more of the modern stuff they've done with Luthor. I did not like him in the old comics, in the Silver Age comics, the Golden Age comics. So yeah, that's just a little bit of who my favorite heroes and villains are. There are more. Oh, Captain America I love from Marvel. I also... Black Widow for Marvel, and I'm just going to keep going if I don't stop here. So Thor, and let's just end it there. Would you ever review a Metal Hero show more than... Would you ever review a Metal Hero show? Well, I've done a couple. Well, actually, no. I only did Wind Spectre. I was going to do Soul Brain, but I just couldn't get through the first 10 episodes, so it just kind of lost its way. I'll eventually swing back around to doing that. I will be reviewing Just Beyond when it comes out from Sentai... Not Sentai Filmworks. Discotheque. Later next year. When that comes out, I will watch and review that one. Yes, I will eventually do more Kamen Rider. I just want to focus mainly on Sentai, because that one is essentially the longest of all the franchises. And as much as awesome as like Kamen Rider and Garo and Ultraman are, Sentai is my favorite of the Toku franchises, even though the current stuff frustrates me beyond no end. I think a new Sentai is coming out. I think a new Super Sentai is coming out. Wanted you to know that Ultraman Netflix series is coming. Yes, I have mixed feelings on this Ultraman Netflix anime because it's CGI, and I don't know what the Japanese obsession is with CGI lately, but their CGI sucks. Go back to real animation, people. Anyway, next one. Jake Shustet. Oh, that's the one I just read. Jeannie Whitcomb. What are you looking forward to in the new year? New ideas for the channel, some new videos I hope to do, getting through more Sailor Moon, and because Viz announced that Sailor Moon Stars will be getting released next year. The first set comes out in May, assumptively the second set comes out in November, which means I can have all of Sailor Moon Stars, well, all of Sailor Moon done by the end of next year, at least until Christo comes out, finally comes out with another season. I'm looking for some of the movies I'm looking forward to is Us, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, obviously Avengers, Captain Marvel, Shazam looks pretty good, and now that Aquaman was actually really good, I'm expecting new things from Shazam that might actually make it even better than that. Looks like DC might finally have listened, hopefully. More Sentai series, the new Godzilla movie, of course. And hopefully just a better year overall. Hoping that my business expands better to kick off more. Ty Kamen. What do you think of Kamen Rider Geo so far? I gave up after episode 4. So that probably tells you what I think of it. What do you think of the ride watches? Yay or nay? So far, I thought the ride watches were stupid. But I haven't seen enough show to really care. I just really don't care about the ride watches. It's just Geo is crap to me. I couldn't enjoy myself, so I decided why continue. Jake again. Have you ever seen Ultraman Tiga, the 4Kids Fox Box English dub? I have not seen their English dub, but I did own the DVDs at one point, and I watched the show on DVD, and I wish I never got rid of those DVDs. I sold them to a secondhand store that was buying them for like 75 cents a piece, which I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm not going to get anything for them. And now I kind of wish I hadn't done that. One, because one of the volumes is like super expensive, and two, because now I want to watch and review Ultraman Tiga. Would you ever review... Oh, wait. Did I? No. This is another question. Or actually, this is the Netflix Kamen Rider Metal Hero Show question I just answered. Oops, I guess I copied that twice. Okay. Aiden De Frita Foresta. Still don't know how to pronounce it. In fact, he even says it. Hi, it's me with the unpronounceable name again. My questions are... 1. Now that Discotheque has released Metal Heroes and other obscure Toku series, what other non-Ultra Sentai Kamen Rider series would you like to see get an official sub-release? What is it? Space Cop Giban? Not Space Cop. Giban, the detective one with the robot, the one that's basically based off of RoboCop. Giban. That would be cool to see. The Beef-Fighter series I'd love to see released. It would be cool, especially because I own the Region 2 DVDs of Kabuto, but it would be nice to finally get to watch that series subtitled so I can understand everything being said to a T. I also would like to see Gavin get a release. 2. Are you aware that Rampage subs are swapping Blue SWAT? I am. I just am not going to worry about subs for Metal Hero shows unless the whole show is done. That's how I like to do it now. I'll be like, cool, but I'll wait to see where a fan subgroup is on it in like 6 months, see how it's going. I mean, Rampage subs, they were amazing. They did an amazing job at Go Ranger, but it took them like, what, 5 years to get through Go Ranger? So we'll see how long it takes them at Blue SWAT. And then we have MFC, who last year in like May only had like 15 episodes of Dynamin left, and we're still have 15 episodes of Dynamin left, which kind of sucks. I guess they've been busy though, so whatever. What are your thoughts on Cancel Doctor Who? I don't know, because I don't know what Cancel Doctor Who is. I guess it's just because people don't like the new Doctor because it's a female. They want the show to end. I mean, the show is in its 37th season, essentially. What groundbreaking material do you really think the show can do? I mean, pretty much turning the Doctor into a woman is as far as groundbreaking can go at this point. So, anyone that thinks the show is supposed to have groundbreaking material in 37 seasons needs to think of other stuff. Now that Macra Terror is being released, what are your expectations? What other stories are you hoping to see animated? Personally, I want to see the Daleks' Master Plan, the Highlanders, and the Evil of the Daleks animated. Honestly, I don't know too much about the episodes that are missing outside of they're missing. I like Troughton. In fact, I've just recently picked up this past month a bunch of Troughton's DVDs while Barnes & Noble had their 50-60% off sales on British TV. So I picked up a bunch of stuff. I got Web of Fear, not Wheel in Space, that's not out yet. The Moon Base, the Enemy of the World. I picked up The Power of the Daleks. Isn't the Highlander the one where Troughton first picks up Jamie? That would be kind of cool to see, because Jamie was kind of a cool character in the episodes I've seen, especially in the War Games. The hard part with the animation is sometimes it's kind of jarring when you go from one episode live action, one episode animation, back to live action, animation, live action, animation. And I just don't like the animation style they used. I didn't have a big deal with The Power of the Daleks doing that because the whole thing was animated, so I didn't have this jarring thing happen. It would have been cool to have seen the original versions, but whatever. The same thing goes with the 10th Planet. It was jarring with that last episode where it just cut to animation. I mean, even though I expected it, it was jarring. Alright. I don't know. I don't like how the characters just don't look all that lively to me in the animation. So, to answer your question, I don't actually know what I would like to see done, since I don't really know the exact details on what stories are missing. I'm going to guess the Daleks' Master Plan, is that the 12-parter? That might be cool, but the other problem with some of the Doctor Who stuff for the classic series is some of those stories do not need to be as long as they. I love the War Games. The War Games is incredible, but I don't think it really needed to be 10 episodes, maybe 8. Then there's a lot of stories that they're great 4, 5, 4, 6 episodes. They could have been like 2 to 3. Except for I've watched the first 2 Tom Baker seasons recently, and those seasons were phenomenal. Hinchcliffe is like the best thing that ever happened to Doctor Who. Anyway, Zackzilla. Have you heard about Labyrinth? Sia and Dimplo's collaborative psychedelic subgroup called LSD. If so, check out their designs. I have not. I will have to go check out those designs. I'm assuming they're cool. Number 2, have you heard about Godzilla Land and what is your favorite episode and bit? I have not heard about Godzilla Land. I don't even know what that is at all. My favorite episode is Hiragana, and my favorite bit of all time is how to bite Godzilla's tail and with Mothra from this episode. Interesting. Yeah, I have never heard of this Godzilla Land thing. Is it something on YouTube? Nolanzilla 03. Opinions on Godzilla versus Space Godzilla. Is the movie over yet? It's still going? How long have I been sleeping? Only 10 minutes? Oh, how much longer does this messed up movie got to go? There, that's my opinion on Godzilla versus Space Godzilla. In fact, until Planet of the Monsters, I thought Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla was the worst Godzilla movie ever made. Next question. Hero Brine Kingmaster. Chocolate or mayonnaise? Chocolate, obviously. Mayonnaise is... unless it's on sandwich. On its own, though. I like that, though. Nice little fun question there. Time Force Ranger 04. Hey, me knowing you're a huge anime fan, I'm wondering if you ever watched Alvin Lead. And if so, what's your opinion on it? I never watched it. I'm not in any need of watching it, as I know, in fact, it is way too much for me. Like with the violence, nudity, sexual content, etc. Fair enough. I have not seen Alvin Lied. I don't know. I just don't really have any desire to care enough to go watch it. There was like a point where I wanted to, back when it first came out, but nowadays I'm just like, I haven't seen it by now. It's not that big of a deal. It's not on my... If I see it someday, cool. If not, no big deal. Continues. What's your favorite viewer on the internet? Jeremy Johns, Angry Joe, Jim Sterling, occasionally the Nostalgia Critic, which I'm sure some of you are like, oh, gasp, he said Nostalgia Critic, you're not supposed to like him anymore because that guy was an asshole because of all the stuff that happened. I don't know exactly what happened. I only know by word of mouth and what I've read. I don't know the truth of everything, so whatever. What happened, happened. It is what it is. I'm not going to worry about it. I mean, if I stopped watching movies because some asshole was part of a movie, I would never watch a single movie ever made. Alright. What you like better, kaiju movies, TV shows like Ultraman or Super Sentai? I don't know if you can hear the planes fly by. Okay. Well, Godzilla movies, of course, is number one. But if it was Toku or in Toku, like I said, Super Sentai, no matter how much I hate the new stuff, doesn't mean because basically when I think Super Sentai, I think Die Ranger, Kaku Ranger, Go-Go 5, Car Ranger, Time Ranger, Jetman. So that's why I say Super Sentai. Because Ultraman, you've got Ultra 7, but then yeah, so Super Sentai. Who do you think would win, Godzilla or Gamera? Godzilla. No contest. How would you rank these monsters? King Kong, Godzilla, Gamera? Godzilla, King Kong, Gamera. Well, Godzilla number one. Actually, no, I probably would put King Kong over Gamera, no matter how good the Heisei Gamera trilogy is. What's your least favorite anime? Least favorite anime. Movies or series? Well, movies, Planet of the Monsters. There was this movie years and years ago that I saw. What was it? Well, for OVAs, Ninja Resurrection, Chimera. Series, Gungrave, Gundam Age, or Vice Kreis, or it was called Night Hunters in America. Naruto. I do not like Naruto. That's all I can think of off the top of my head right now. I would need to actually fully think up all the series I've watched and which ones were really, really bad. I think Dual Parallel Worlds would be on that list. There was another one. And no, earlier when I said Ninja Resurrection, it has nothing to do with Ninja Scroll. I have no idea why back in the 90s ADV was advertising it as the sequel to Ninja Scroll when it has nothing to do with Ninja Scroll. Okay. Oh my god. There's this one, Biohunter. That's what I'm trying to think of. That was pretty bad also. Biohunter was awful. How you ranked all the Batman movies? Well, that includes Burton, Schumacher, Nolan, and the old 60s Batman. Not the old 60s film, nor Batman versus Batman and the Justice League movie. Okay, I'm assuming you mean not Batman versus Superman. Dark Knight, Batman Begins, Tim Burton's first Batman movie, probably Batman Returns, then The Dark Knight Rises, then Batman Forever. Or would I put Batman Forever better than Dark Knight Rises? Those two are kind of tied. Then Batman and Robin. That's like the worst of the worst. Although it's still better than Jonah Hex. How you rank the Marvel Cinematic movies? Which is your favorite, starting with Iron Man up to Ant-Man and the Wasp? That would be too long to rank, but my top favorite MCU film is The Winter Soldier. I don't think any Marvel movie has been able to top that. It's like a political thriller with a superhero movie within it. So that is at the top. That is my ultimate favorite, and nothing has topped it yet. Other favorites include Civil War. I just lost my thought. Civil War, which is like a spy thriller. Black Panther was a spy thriller. Spider-Man Homecoming would be... Spider-Man Homecoming and Black Panther are tied for my number 2 place. Obviously Infinity War because it was a supervillains movie. I really like the first Iron Man. I love the first Ant-Man because it was like a heist film with a superhero movie within it. Doctor Strange was good. The first Thor was good. Thor Ragnarok was great, though not as good as the first one. It would just take way too long to rank them all right now. And I would also need to have my Blu-rays to make sure I am actually ranking them. Maybe I'll do that as a video later on next year after Endgame has come out. Maybe I'll actually rank all my favorites of the Marvel movies after Endgame. I will say my least favorite MCU film is Thor Dark World. I don't know. I don't really care for that movie. I mean, it's better than a lot of the generic action movies that come out. I would rather watch Dark World over those, but as far as MCU standards are concerned, Dark World is the bottom of the barrel for me. And Iron Man 2 would be above Dark World. Iron Man 3 would be above Iron Man 2 and Age of Ultron, which I did not hate Age of Ultron. I know so many people that absolutely hated the movie just because, and I kind of enjoyed it. I don't think it lives up. It's as good as the first Avengers movie, but not every movie needs to be better. Not every sequel needs to be better than the first one to be good. At this point, there's 22 Marvel films. I just don't want to be bored. If I'm bored, then there's a problem. Just don't bore me, and I'll enjoy it. It might not be the greatest piece ever, like Aquaman. Its plot was generic as hell, but it was an entertaining, fun movie. So just don't bore me, and I'll be good. Alright. Will you ever do a review on Elven Light? Already answered that. Thanks for answering my questions. I'm encouraged to continue your career on YouTube. You're one of the best. Well, thank you. I know I'm awesome. But no, seriously, thanks. Daryl Yoder. When are you going to review the other Godzilla movies? Knockoffs. Reptilicus, X from Outer Space, Kappa, the Trifivian Monster, Gappa. Yangare, Monster from the Deep, Paul Gassari. Pretty much when I get the chance to. Some of them I just don't have time for. I'll probably pick some up eventually on Blu-ray that will hopefully encourage me to review them sooner. Although I saw how well that worked with Daimajin, the trilogy that I picked up, like, what, 2 years ago to review, and I still haven't done it. Chandler Chamberlain. What are your top 10 Spider-Man villains and allies? Okay, villains. Number 1 favorite Spider-Man villain of all time is Hobgoblin. He is like the quintessential villain that Spider-Man has truly never beat. Hell, the man franchised the Hobgoblin name, so that's pretty awesome. He is the one guy to outdo Spider-Man. Other villains. Other of my top favorites. Mysterio, Green Goblin, of course, Electro, Kraven's pretty cool, Carnage, the Enforcers. I especially love what they did with the Enforcers in the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon when they made Montana be Shocker. That was a pretty cool idea. Kingpin. Cardiac was a cool villain when I was a kid. And I got 2 more, right? 2 more. That was 8. Do you count Morbius as a Spider-Man villain since he started out as a villain? Now he'd be under the Allies. So let's not do that one. Vulture. And I'm always complaining that he doesn't have a Marvel Legend figure yet. Well, who is it? I can't remember who I'm missing. Wow, okay. I can't remember my 10th one. So I'll just say Doc Ock. We'll go with Doc Ock for my 10th one. Oh, and allies. Morbius, Cloak, Dagger, Daredevil. Oh, I forgot to put Ghost Rider in my list of top 10 Marvel heroes. Ghost Rider has worked with Spider-Man every now and then. Right? Yeah, there was a comic when Spider-Man and Ghost Rider worked. The New Fantastic Four, when it was Hulk, Ghost Rider, Wolverine, and Spider-Man. There. So Ghost Rider counts. Spider-Man Noir, Miles Morales, Spider-Man 2099. So let's go with those ones. For my favorite heroes, I said Cloak and Dagger, right? I don't even know what I just said. Wow. And actually, I do like the new Miss Marvel. She seems kind of cool from what I've read. And Silk. Okay. I think I've answered your question for you. Actually, I didn't make sure I had 10 for the allies, but Sleepwalker. We'll go with that. We'll say that I said 10. Jake Shusted again. Do you have any Morpher Changers? Thoughts on American adaptations of Kamen Rider and Ultraman? Do you have Morphers or Changers? Yes, I do. You can't see them, but we've got Drive, Beast, Build, not Build. I thought Build. I've got the Kyoru Golds, Wrist Changer. We've got a few of the Kyoruger stuff. Where is Build's belt? Oh, there's Build's belt. Back there. The O's belt. I just got for Christmas this triple changer that you can switch the belt between V3, Black, and Kabuto. Thoughts on the adaptations? I've only seen a few episodes of Masked Rider, and that was enough for me. Back when it first aired, the giant Furby was creepy. Kamen Rider Dragon Knight had some good ideas, but it did not have the budget to pull off the production values it needed. As for Ultraman, I have not seen any of the There was only one American adaptation, right? And then there was that Australian adaptation, which I'm hoping to review towards the future. I'm hoping to review that early next year. Again, I downloaded earlier this year to review it this year, and that didn't happen, so oops. I need more hours in the day, or at least more days of the week. Ultraman Fan 100, what are your top 10 toku shows? Die Ranger, Kaku Ranger, Ultra 7, Garo Makai Senki, Kamen Rider Blade, Kamen Rider Black, Kamen Rider Double, Jew Ranger. Did I say Jew Ranger already? If I already said Jew Ranger, then Go 5. And Ultra 7. Car Ranger. Or Go 5. Car Ranger or Go 5, depending if I already said Jew Ranger or not. And those probably wouldn't be in the exact order. It'd probably go... Or maybe they are. We'll just go with that. Nolan Ueno. What is your favorite Ultraman show? Ultra 7. If you can do your own Super Sentai season, what theme would it be? I think someone asked me this in the last Q&A. Basically, I would do an underwater theme where they're a marine-based group that uses submarines for their mecha. The villains are a fire tribe that want to burn the earth, so it's up to the Rangers and their water power to stop these flaming demons. Three. Do you know Deadpoolzilla? If not, then please check out his channel. I'll have to do that. Well, I'm making some good time here. It looks like I've only done this for 32 minutes, and I'm on the 3rd page. Sweet. That should make some of you happy, because I haven't been there like, duh, well, until now that I'm talking about it. Jason Rogas. What is your favorite 80s and 90s anime? 80s would be Zeta Gundam. 90s, Escaflowne. Yep. Because my top 2 favorite anime series are from 2000s. Which are Ghost in the Shell, Standalone Complex, and Gankutsu. Now, for some other animes from the 80s, I do love Go Lion, Macross, Mospeeda, Gundam Double Z, 90s Cowboy Bebop, Outlaw Star, Bubblegum Crisis 2040, Tekkaman Blade, Everyone Loves Dragon Ball, that's 80s and 90s, Sailor Moon from the 90s, Revolutionary Girl Utena, what am I missing? 80s and 90s. No, that was 2000s. Let's just go with those. Earth M78 Studios asks, favorite Doctor Who story arcs, classic and or new Who? Alright, favorite arcs. Well, like I said earlier, I've been watching the Tom Baker early seasons. I really, really loved Genesis of the Daleks. Robot was great, because Robot might be my favorite Doctor premiere episode. I especially love some of the pieces of dialogue in there, like Stewart's, just once I wish we would encounter an alien menace that was not immune to bullets. And then the Doctor's, what's the point of being an adult if you can't be childish sometimes? I really loved, well, his entire second season was great. Planet Evil, The Brain of Morbius, Seeds of Doom, Pyramid of Mars. I also loved Kinda, Earthshock, and Black Orchid from Peter Davison. The War Games from Charlton, and Power of the Daleks, and The Invasion. I haven't seen much of McCoy or Colin Baker to really have an opinion on them beyond like the 2 episodes I've seen from each. I will say I didn't really care for McCoy's episodes, but I did kind of like Colin Baker's Doctor. Maybe not the episodes themselves. Let's see, other favorites. Well, Blink is probably my favorite Doctor Who episode of all time, along with the first 10 episodes where they brought in the Cybermen, the Satan 2-parter, the 2-parter with the Daleks versus the Cybermen, Fires of Pompeii, the girl in the fireplace. For Matt Smith, I love the Impossible Astronaut episode with the silence. Same with the special with the War Doctor. I really love that one. The season finale with the Master, that 2-parter, 3-parter, whichever it was, from Tennant's era. So there's a lot of good stuff, but I mean my favorite episode, as I said, is Blink, probably followed by Genesis of the Daleks, and then the War Games. Those might be my top 3 favorite Doctor Who stories. On a scale from I'm ready to I am hype, how ready are you for Godzilla King of the Monsters? From I'm ready to I am the hype. I'm ready. I'm not hyped up yet just because there's still things that WB makes poor decisions on, and I just don't want to get too excited for a Godzilla movie. Don't mind me here as I get some water. I'm ready for it. I'm just not hyping up. I'm just not hyping myself up for it. I'm excited. I like the designs for Ghidorah and Rodan. Not a fan of the pinchers from Mothra, but I like what I've seen. I can't wait for the movie to come out. I just hope that they don't need to show anything more. The trailer they just released is perfect. Just leave it at that. Don't show us any more movie. We're good. We're done. Doesn't need to be like this one movie that we just saw a trailer for a couple times, of this movie about this dog, where it's this dog that is a puppy, plays around with the owner, grows up, runs away, and the whole movie, the trailer shows the entire movie in like chronological order, with the puppy, with the dog getting lost, the dog then coming home. It was ridiculous. Don't do that. Don't do that with movies. Thanks kindly for the questions. I would ask more, but I'm blanking out. But I'm blanking out on what to ask for the Q&A. Sincerely, Chris, High Priest of the Cult of the Almighty Gojira. Okay. Liquid P-Star from Ultraman. Okay. Anyway. What Toku show would you say has impacted you the most? What Toku show would you say has impacted you the most? Probably Die Ranger. What would you say is the sole essence that defines a good Ultraman show? Ooh. What would define a good Ultraman show? Creativity? Tackling different genres based on the episodic stories? Having well-written characters with a well-thought-out plot. I'm not expecting that every episode has to be plot. Not every episode needs to basically move the plot along, but just have a continuous plot that will keep going throughout the show. I mean, yeah, I know Ultra 7 being my favorite Ultra show. It's kind of funny to say that since there is no continuous plot. But that's because that show did so many interesting things, had well-written characters, most of the time. Interesting camera techniques and camera angles and cinematography, which is another big thing that I was able to look past the non-consistent plot. Plus, it was kind of those early days when they didn't know what they were doing completely with plots like that. Plus, it has a lot of memorable scenes and episodes. So that's what I would say would be the sole essence, is good plots, well-written characters, interesting monsters. The one cool thing, like some of the Ultra shows, it's as cool as it is seeing King Joe and Metron and Gamora and Dada. I want to see some new, interesting monsters. Something creative, not just the same thing rehashed over. Have a little balance. Have just as many new monsters as you have reused of old ones. Zit done. Okay. What and why? Well, I think I already answered that. So, thank you. Typhosaurus Smith. What's your favorite non-Toho kaiju and why? My favorite non-Toho kaiju and why? So not Toho. Do you count Subaraya as Toho? Because if not, I'm tempted to go with King Joe from Ultra 7 because he was pretty big force to deal with. The fact that he's 3 ships that combine into one robot's pretty awesome. And then there's like later upgrades that give him like machine guns and stuff. That's pretty cool. Otherwise, I'm going to go with Heisei Gamera. Heisei Gamera was pretty awesome. I loved the plot line with Atlantis. His powers were cool. It was an interesting concept. I loved how he evolved over the course of the trilogy. Stephen Merritt. What is your favorite Godzilla monster? Well, Godzilla, obviously. But I'm going to assume you mean not Godzilla, or do you mean favorite version of Godzilla? Because if it's my favorite version of Godzilla, it would either be a toss-up between the 64 Godzilla and the Kiryu Goji suit. If you mean favorite Godzilla monster, as in non-Godzilla monster, either Mothra or Ghidorah. Those have been my top 2 favorites. Rodan and King Caesar are in there as well. But yeah, it would either be Ghidorah or Mothra. I'm not sure which of those 2 because I can never decide which one of those 2 I like better. Alright, so that is the end of Q&A number 5. Thank you so much for your questions. I hope that I did not take long periods of pauses between answering questions, as some people said that I did in the last one. I tried to be a little bit quicker on this. I think it looks like that I have worked because it's only been 43 minutes right now. And I want to get to my top 10 lists. So, until next time, bye.